Hi, everyone, and welcome to Lenny TV. All right, let's just jump right in because, man, what a story we have today. We're talking about the absolute unfiltered chaos surrounding Bill Belichick's debut in college football. Seriously, this thing has it all. You've got a living legend, a game that was a total train wreck, and a 24-year-old former cheerleader who, get this, might actually be running the whole show. So you got to ask yourself, right? How does one of the most buttoned-up, no-nonsense coaches of all time end up smack in the middle of a media circus like this? It's just wild. We're going to break down exactly how we got to this point. And hey, real quick, if you want to support the channel, the Buy Me a Coffee link is down in the description. Okay, let's get into it.
Okay, so it all kicks off with Game 1. The scene is set, right? The lights are on in Chapel Hill, everybody's expecting greatness, and instead it's just a complete and utter disaster.
So check this out. UNC comes out, they score a touchdown on their very first drive. You're thinking, okay, here we go. The Belichick era has begun. And then TCU goes on to score 41 unanswered points. I mean, just let that number sink in for a second. 41. It wasn't just a loss, it was an absolute shellacking. And this quote right here, it really nails the heart of the issue. Because, believe it or not, as bad as that game was, the score wasn't even the biggest story. The loss on the field, that was just the tip of the iceberg. The game itself became a footnote to this massive drama that was playing out for everyone to see. I mean, let's just put this into perspective for a minute. This is the same defensive mastermind, Bill Belichick, who held the high-flying Rams to a measly 3 points in a Super Bowl. And now, his college team is giving up 48 points to a TCU squad that, let's be honest, only won 5 games last year. The difference is, it's just staggering. It makes no sense. All right, so how in the world did this happen? Well, to get it, you really have to look at the two people at the absolute center of this storm. Their dynamic, it's the key to everything. Okay, on one side, you've got the legend himself, Bill Belichick. 73 years old, 333 NFL wins, 6 Super Bowl rings. I mean, the guy's resume is untouchable. And then, on the other side, you have Jordan Hudson. She's 24, a former cheerleader. And this is where it gets really interesting, she calls herself the CEO of Belichick Productions. Yeah, you heard that right. And listen, this isn't just some cute nickname she made up. We know from uncovered emails that she literally used this title, Chief Operating Officer of Belichick Productions, while telling UNC's official PR team how they should announce the hiring of Bill's own son as the defensive coordinator. So we're talking day one, she is embedding herself deep inside the operational side of this football program. And look, this wasn't just a one-off incident, not at all. What starts to emerge is this clear, consistent pattern of, well, distractions. One event after another that just kept creating buzz for all the wrong reasons. Just look at how this all played out. In April, she's turning heads at the spring game with her attire and gets into that awkward interview. A month later, in May, reports are flying that she's been banned from the UNC football facility. Then in June, Belichick himself has to go on record and say she has no role in the program. Okay, seems clear, right? But then, fast forward to September, first game of the season. And where is she? On the field, during warm-ups. It's like the contradictions are just piling up, one on top of the other. Oh, and that CBS interview, that was a massive red flag for everyone. It was supposed to be a totally standard book promotion, nothing crazy. But when the reporter asks a super simple question, how did you two meet? Hudson just shuts it down from off camera. She literally tells the reporter not talking about this. And reports say her interruptions held up the shoot for half an hour to the point where CBS executives had to step in just to get things back on track. It was a total mess. And then you have the failed HBO deal. This was huge. UNC was about to get their own Hard Knocks-style show. I mean, what a massive recruiting tool, a huge spotlight for the program. But the whole thing just collapsed. And why? Well, according to multiple reports, it's because Hudson came in with a list of demands. We're talking an executive producer credit for herself, full approval over all content, and even partial ownership of the show. To be clear, not even head coaches in the NFL get that kind of power. And the NFL's reaction? They just killed the whole project. Done. So with all this drama swirling around, people close to Belichick, people inside the program, they're starting to ask a really serious question. What is all of this doing to his legacy? And look, you need to understand, this is not just a bunch of talking heads on TV making noise. The reports say that Belichick's own family is extraordinarily concerned. They're worried about how damaging this whole situation with Jordan could be, not just for the team at North Carolina, but for Bill's entire legacy, everything he spent his life building.
Now, you do have some of his former players like Gronk and Edelman trying to explain it away. They're saying, oh, she's just playing the Burge role, comparing her to Burge Najarian, who is a key guy in the Patriots front office. But here's the reality check. Burge was a football executive with decades of experience. It's not the same thing. And then you have the current UNC players saying, oh no, it's not a distraction to us at all. But in the very next breath, they admit they're seeing all the headlines and the drama on their phones. So which is it? You can't say it's not a distraction if you're all seeing it.
And really, when you strip everything else away, it all comes down to one fundamental thing: a complete and total erosion of the core principles that Bill Belichick built his entire career on. I mean, just think about the contrast here. The old Belichick, he had 0.0 tolerance for distractions. This is the guy who cut Antonio Brown without a second thought because of off-field drama. The new Belichick, his personal life has become the single biggest story in college football. The coach who was famous for giving one-word answers at press conferences is now the star of viral memes and signs about beach yoga. It's a complete 180. You know, for more than 20 years, his entire philosophy was built on 3 little words: do your job. That was the mantra. That's what built a dynasty. It was all about focus, discipline, and putting the team for any single person. Which brings us to the final burning question. When you look at everything, the drama on the sidelines, the TV deals getting blown up, the nonstop media circus, you just have to ask, what exactly are they building down there in Chapel Hill? Is this a football program or is it a reality show? So I gotta know what you guys think. Is this just a weird temporary storm, or are we watching a fundamental change in one of the greatest coaches ever? Let me know down below. And hey, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment so we can keep the conversation going.